It's time, y'all. 25-26 season is around the corner now, and I'm seeing everyone doing their Premier League predictions. So why would I not get involved in this as being the guy on the internet with the best ball knowledge? Put all your money in on this, because don't actually put all your money on this. This is not financial advice at all whatsoever. I'm not a professional gambler, okay? So do not actually listen to what I said earlier. But anyways, as promised, here are my Premier League predictions. I'm going to show you who's winning the league, who's getting top four, Europa League, who's getting relegated, all of it. Also, one more thing to note is that there are still like 2 weeks left of the transfer window. So there's still a lot that could happen. And it probably would have changed where I put people. I know Rodrigo's still on the market. Arsenal could still get players. Man City could still get players here and there. Tottenham. All these teams could still get players that could change their season. I just saw Everton agree a deal for Jack Grealish. So you never know. Before we get into it, though, I'm going to have to ask y'all to like this video and subscribe. Please, it'll help spread my video around this football content area, because this should be the channel with the best ball knowledge. That's what I want on this channel. Only the best. So, did you like the video yet? Alright, now that you liked it, let's get into the video. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty similar system to what I had in my last video. You can see the tier systems on the left side, with the champions being at the top. You got the Champions League spaces right under it. Obviously, 5th place isn't completely confirmed until, we see how the English teams do in the Champions League this next year and all European competition. You got Europa League, Conference League, and then you got higher mid-table, lower mid-table, and then relegation at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from 20th to 1st, build that anticipation and just run through why I think each team's going to finish where they are. So we are going to start with relegation. 20th place, I think I've seen a good amount of people put them in 20th place, and I'm going to have to put them there as well. It's going to be Burnley for me. Only one of the 3 promoted clubs. The past couple seasons, we've seen 3 out of 3 of the promoted clubs go back down. This season, I might think it's a little bit different. You're just going to have to see. But Burnley is definitely one of those clubs I think is going down. In the championship, obviously, they had one of the best defense. They had the best defensive record. But when you look into the numbers, it was actually an overperformance from their defense. One of their best pieces in their defense as well just got sold to Man City. It wasn't really their choice. Man City just hit that buyback clause and took him basically. They couldn't do nothing about it. So other than that, I don't think their signings have really wowed me like that. So I'm just gonna have to keep them at 20th. In 19th place, this might be a surprise to some people, but I'm going to have to put Brentford. Brentford is in 19th for me. I'm sorry, Brentford fans, but you guys have got absolutely raided this summer. Your captain, your top goal scorer and best player, your second best player and second top scorer is looking like he wants to leave. Like, from what I'm seeing from Fabrizio Romano, it looks like he's trying to force a move to Newcastle. I'm not sure what other clubs are interested in him, but Newcastle would be a good spot for him, in my opinion, and I feel like he's going to try to force that move. I think he missed a couple preseason games, if I'm not wrong, but I'm not completely sure, but it just feels like it's too much turnover. Jordan Henderson's a decent signing. Flecken's a good signing. I really like that signing, but losing your manager, who was such a big part of you guys going up, it's going to be a big change. I think it's Keith Andrews, something like that. He's the new manager, and it's kind of the same tier system that Thomas Frank came through. He was the assistant, and then he became the manager or something like that. But I'm just going to put Brentford at 19th. 18th place for me is going to be Leeds. Leeds United finishes 18th place and takes that last relegation spot. Which means, yes, I'm buying into the Sunderland hype. Don't kill me, okay? There's so many people buying into this hype, and I truly think they will stay up. Anyways, this is about Leeds. I think they made a lot of signings, a lot of good signings. I think they'll make it close to try to stay in the Premier League, but in the end, I just don't think it's enough. When you see these teams get promoted and you see them pick up a bunch of players, you're not sure how exactly they want to play. Obviously, they're going to try to play their possession football. It's not going to work, and you're either going to sink or swim. And I don't know. I don't see them swimming. I see Sunderland maybe standing a better chance at staying up, in my opinion. But yeah, especially with Daniel Fark still there, he doesn't have a great record in the Premier League, so I'm just gonna keep Leeds at 18th. In 17th place, we got Sunderland. The team that's going to scrape into the Premier League the season after this one is going to be Sunderland. Like I said before, I really like their business. Talby, one of their attackers that they signed Granit Xhaka, who I really rate, obviously, as an Arsenal fan. Um, who else did they sign? They signed Diarra, Siddiqui. I like the clips that I saw from those two. But it does make me question, like, are they going to try to play possession football? Because that's not going to work. And can they handle just being a defensive team? I'm not sure, to be honest. But I like taking this gamble on Sunderland. I'm hoping they can create a lot. Talby looks like a special player. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like they have good attacking options. So, what you need in the Prem realistically is consistent goals, a consistent way of finding goals. And I'm hoping Sunderland can pull some off. All right, right above Sunderland in 16th, I got Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers, I got right above Sunderland. It's weird because I was really deciding between Wolves and Brentford, who I thought were going to go down. And in the end, I decided Brentford to go down because I looked at the second part of Wolves' season. They were missing their best player, Mateus Cunha, and they seemed to handle it without him. They were actually picking up good results without him. Strand Larson looks like a pretty good striker. It worked signing someone from Celta Vigo, and they went back again and got Fer Lopez. I've seen very little amount of clips from him, but he looks like he picks up the same spaces as Cunha. We'll see how that works out. Eight Nouri is a really big loss in my opinion. I think it'll be a bigger loss than Cunha, but I think they have capable defenders. I like Agbadu. I think that's his name. Their center back that they signed in the winter of last season. And I don't know. I feel like they always get predicted to go down and they just stay up somehow. So Wolves, I'm gonna keep them at 16th. And now we got the 15th place team, who is going to be West Ham United. Yeah, West Ham just screams 15th place in my opinion. They haven't really done anything extremely exciting in the summer. Except letting go of not their best player. I'd say like their third best player, second best player, Mohamed Kudus. Jared Bowen's still their best player. I can see him keeping them in the league, but it's real scary for them because whatever they do, they just seem to keep being in a relegation fight. I feel like West Ham tries to always sign a striker and it just never works out, unfortunately for them. Potter, I don't know how long he'll last at this job, but I think he'll do well enough to keep him up. I don't think he's gonna like completely stink it up at the first or in the first half of the season or anything. Diouf looks like a decent signing at left back. Yeah, not much to say on West Ham to be honest. I just put them at 15th because they look like they'll be struggling. 14th place is up next, and I got Nottingham Forest in 14th. This is obviously going to be a massive drop off from last season. It like they got European football somehow, but they lost one of their biggest pieces, Alenga, who led the team in assists to mostly Chris Wood, who was putting everything away. Can Chris Wood replicate what he did last season? I don't know. Maybe Igor Jesus can pick up some of that load in terms of goals, but yeah, I don't know. Their defense is still pretty solid, but towards the end of the season, we saw Nottingham Forest started to get figured out. So I can only expect more teams to pick up on what Nottingham Forest is trying to do, to be honest. And I think it'll leave them dropping lower in the lower and lower in the table. On top of this, they're still fighting the case against Crystal Palace to get that Europa League football. So maybe they will be in Europa League football, and that's going to be even harder to manage than Conference League. So I just see Nottingham Forest dropping off. In 13th place, I got Crystal Palace. I mean, last year, what a season for Crystal Palace. I mean, winning the FA Cup, ending on such a high. They might be in Europa League or Conference League, and I think that's going to take a major hit on them. This is the first time they're in European competition, I think. So, and the squad, I wouldn't say is very deep in terms of quality all around the pitch. So, yeah, I don't see how they can go any higher than this in the table. They're probably going to be focused on the European competition, so I think it'll see a drop off in where they're going to be, but not too much because what they finished 12th last year. like they usually do. In 12th place, I got Bournemouth. I feel like this might be a little high for some people. They did lose their entire, and I mean like their entire defense. Kepa, Housen, Kirkes, and Zabarni, I think, just got completed recently by PSG. So what? They kept the right back. Who is it? Araujo. They lost their entire defense, which should see them drop maybe a little bit lower. But I rate Iraola. It looked like the team started to burn out towards the end of the season. And I still think they got quality attackers. Dango, when he was playing striker, looked extremely dangerous. Evan Nilsson had a great first season. Semenyo, I had him in my FPL last year. He just puts up numbers consistently. So I think that attack is going to help them a lot. And I trust Bournemouth to recruit better. 12th place for them. The 11th place finish for me is going to be Fulham. Fulham, pretty much like Crystal Palace and West Ham, have not really done much in the window to kind of impress me. It's funny that it's all the London clubs pretty much. Yeah, they really haven't done much to impress me. But that doesn't mean their team dropped off because they didn't really lose anyone either. I still like Iwobi a lot in that team. Raul Jimenez, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, especially the way he was playing for Mexico this summer, I could see Fulham staying mid-table. I like their defense as well. Calvin Bassey I like a lot. Joachim Anderson, solid defender. Bernd Leno, Anthony Robinson. And I hope to see a little surge in the way Emil Smith Rowe plays because I love that guy. I think he'll definitely play better than last season. So I'm going to put Fulham at 11th. And now we are entering big boy territory. 10th place. Who do you think I'm putting there? It's got to be Everton. They already made it way too far up. I'm going to put Everton in 10th place. I don't know if it's the nostalgia or what it is, but I got Everton. I got to put Everton in 10th place. We got David Moyes back at the club. The vibes are high at the club. Everyone's believing again. Defense is still very solid. Pickford had one of the most clean sheets last season. Tarkovsky and Branthwaite, very good partnership. As long as they don't concede goals, they're fine. And their attack looks like it's getting better. Iliman Ndiaye, I really like him as a footballer. And then they have Tierno Berry coming in. So they're going to have multiple striker options next season. And I think they're going to play better than last season. So I got them in 10th place. Maybe it's a bit high, but I think the end of last season showed that Everton can definitely go higher. In 9th place, I got Aston Villa. Aston Villa ended up securing Europa League football, which we know Unai Emery loves. So naturally, he's going to focus on that. And I don't think Aston Villa have a strong enough attack to compete on both sides. They're definitely going to fall off in the league. They look like they're going to lose more players. Maybe Emi Martinez leaves. Maybe Ollie Watkins leaves, which will put them in more trouble because they can't even spend in the first place. Most of their attacking help came in the winter last season, and it was all loans. They had Rashford, Asensio come in, which really boosted their attack. So, yeah, I just can't see Aston Villa going very far in the league, but in Europa League, I can see the squad really coming together. Unai Emery pushing them as hard as they can in that. So, yeah, I got them in 9th place. And now we got 8th place, and I'm going to put one of the big 6 clubs in 8th place. Can you guess who it is? It is Manchester United. Man United, I mean, for most of this summer window, I completely saw them finishing lower mid again, maybe. No, not actually, but like 10th to 12th probably. But their attacking signings have actually been very impressive. Mbeumo, I like him. But the thing with Mbeumo is he plays the same position as Amad Diallo. I know Emery wants to use him at right wing back, but I feel like you got to use Diallo's effectiveness to the most of its abilities, and then maybe spread the money elsewhere where you really need to get those positions, like a midfielder, and then you can go get a cheaper right wing back, and then it just helps spread the money around the team. You know what I mean? Because not only does Amad Diallo play his best position there, but I feel like Bruno Fernandes would probably be better in a cam position as well. So now that you got Cunha and Mbeumo playing those cam positions, those inside winger positions, where does Bruno play? I don't know. I feel like the attack might be a bit dysfunctional. but I think they will still score more goals than last season. I mean, their attack last year was Jesus. Sesko also a good signing. I still think United need a couple midfielders, maybe another center back, but I think their center backs can do decent. They got Yoro, Heaven, Delit looks okay now. Harry Maguire is a good rotation I have. And they still need a keeper as well. So it's still a lot to fix at United. Maybe they'll fix it by the end of the window, and that's why I mean things could change. But for now, I got United at 8th. In the Conference League spot, I got Newcastle United. This might surprise a lot of people, but I feel like we've seen this before with Newcastle. They were in the Champions League and they fell off extremely hard in the league. And yeah, it was because they had a lot of injuries. They had the group of death in the Champions League. They couldn't really do anything about it. But I feel like similar situation. Do they have like great depth still? Not really. I feel like Newcastle have really tried hard to spend this summer. But when they start hitting that ceiling that they're hitting Champions League consistently, they want to go for that higher echelon of players. And those players aren't really attracted to go to Newcastle United, apparently. We got Sesko choosing United. We got Embuemo choosing United. We got Trafford going to City. I mean, they couldn't really do anything about that because of the buyback clause. They got Joao Pedro going to Chelsea. They got multiple things missed out on. So, on top of that, the whole Isaac situation, he's probably going to end up staying now. And maybe it takes a little bit to phase him back in. Maybe it's a little bit awkward at first, but he'll come back around. He'll score more goals. They'll do decent. Maybe they get past the league phase in the Champions League, but I'm going to have them at 7th. All right, 6th place for me, you guessed it, is Brighton. Brighton is my surprise package of the season, I think. I think they'll finish 6th in that Europa League spot. We've seen them get Europe before under De Zerbi. I think it was De Zerbi. Now we've seen kind of a new rotation of players at Brighton, and we see that they can still recruit. And in this new rotation, they've still sold more. They've sold Joao Pedro. They sold Caicedo. They've sold multiple players. And now they've reinvested into more attackers this summer who I think will just come good. Minte looked good towards the end of the last season. Baleba, an insane midfielder, one of the most complete midfielders in the league. I think the attackers will just get better and better. Jorginho Ruter, I think he'll have a better season. Hurstler will have more time with these players, and I think it's going to get better for them. So I got Brighton in 6th place. Now that we into the top 5, in 5th place, I got to put Tottenham Hotspur. All right, this might be very high for a lot of people, especially last season finishing 17th. It doesn't make sense, but I'm going to have them in 5th place. Maybe it's because I rate Thomas Frank really highly, but you know, he has great adaptability, especially with this Tottenham squad whose defense is much better than what it suggested last year. Obviously, the entire defense was out at one point together. So this season, I don't think they'll have that many freak injuries. Vicario Romero, Van de Ven, all coming together. It's going to be a good defense. On top of that, they added to their attack. They got Mohamed Kudus. They still could get more. Mateus Tell, I think, is a great young attacker. So I expect to see more out of him this season. And yeah, I could just see Tottenham getting back into that top 5 conversation. So I think last season did not reflect how good of a team Tottenham is. Unfortunately, I don't think they're that bad. So I'm just going to have them in 5th place. And now we into the top 4. This has to be the hardest part of the table to call because I genuinely think that any of these 4 teams can win the league. Is that crazy to say? I don't think it is. I think Arsenal can win the league. I think Chelsea can at this point. Liverpool, probably the favorites, and City, probably second favorites. I don't know, maybe with Arsenal. But in 4th place, I'm going to have to go with Chelsea, as many people probably have gone with Chelsea. Look, I think this title race is going to be great. I think all 4 of these teams are probably going to stay around similar points tally, maybe until Chelsea drops off. I just think they should replace their keeper. As of right now, it's still Robert Sanchez going to the next season. They still don't have a defined back line. Levi Cole just got announced that he had an ACL injury, so it's looking not so great for their center back rotation. But with that being said, I think their attack looks great. It looks like they can win titles with that attack. They won the Club World Cup with that attack. Look, I rate this Chelsea team I think they can go far, but I think at some point their defense is going to start letting them down. Maybe around February, March, if I had to guess, where we start to see Chelsea drop off. I think it's a little too soon for them right now. All right, now we got the top three. I am going to have Manchester City in third place. Look, I think Man City have done well in their recruitment this summer. Turkey for only 30 mil. That's literally robbery, especially for a club like Lyon who were going bankrupt and they robbed him for 30 mil. Like if you're going bankrupt, you got to demand like at least 60 mil for this guy. At least double. That's great business for him. I think Ain't Nori is a great signing as well. Reinders, I think he's a good signing, but is he exactly what they need in midfield? Maybe, maybe not. Um, he looks like he's been good this preseason. I think he scored a brace the other day, so maybe it does work out for him. I just don't think Man City's defense is still settled. I'm surprised that they haven't signed a right back still. Like to this day, they have Mateus Nunes playing right back. Is he the best? No, not at all. But he can do a job. But teams see that side and say, let's exploit this. In transition, let's exploit this. Let's blow by their midfield and exploit that. Rodri hasn't really looked like himself yet. I expect him to hit his levels again maybe after this, after he comes back in September. But as of right now, it doesn't look like the same Rodri. Uh, I still see City conceding goals. They'll score goals, but I could see them still conceding goals. And when they do struggle to score goals, maybe they end up losing those games. So I got Man City in third place, which means we got a top two of Arsenal and Liverpool. I know y'all are looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, why is Arsenal in top two? I know a lot of y'all have City, Liverpool. This is City pool all over again. But I truly think Arsenal's in this title race. And do I think they're going to win it? Yes, I do. I got Liverpool in second place. I know it's a shock, right? Another delusional Arsenal fan predicting that they're gonna win the Premier League. I'm sorry. Like if my team is in a title race, I have to back him, or I just look like I'm hating on my own team. So in my brain, I'm really saying, look at that Liverpool team. Look what they did last year, and look what they did to strengthen. They deserve to win the title. So maybe my credibility is going down a little bit, but I have to put my team in first and I have to put Liverpool at second. It looks great for him. I still have questions about if their defense can stay tight, stay compact against teams in transition. We've seen in preseason they've given up a few transition goals, but what's preseason? Like I said, it's not really a measure of how your team's gonna do. Something else interesting about Liverpool is I feel like they should still be spending. If you have that 100 mil in the bank to spend on Isaac, why not get something else done instead? Because I don't think Isaac is that necessary. I think you already signed Ekitike. Go and get another center back because Joe Gomez ain't staying healthy. Konate's injury record isn't great, and if you get some freak accident from Van Dijk, you really need center back coverage. On top of that, you need defensive midfield coverage because Gravenberch, you saw him start to drop levels towards the end of the last season. He was really tired, really gassed out. So I think Liverpool need more cover. Obviously, I'm just pointing out some little things here and there. They're still a great team. They could still win the title as easily, if not more likely than Arsenal. But I got Liverpool at second, which leaves the first place team to be my Arsenal. They're going to be the champions next year. Put your money on it. Don't actually, because I don't gamble and I can't really say I'm qualified to tell you what to do with your money. So don't actually listen to what I'm saying. But yeah, I got Arsenal as champions. I still think we need to sign a left winger. I think maybe we will because we're still showing interest in Eze, maybe Leao, maybe Rodrigo. I'm not sure exactly if the club is even going to sign a left winger, but I trust in my team to improve on last season massively. I think you can't expect the club to pretty much improve every single season for 5 years. I don't think that's ever been done. Not even Man City, not even Liverpool have done that. It's an insane amount of progression, so we should have expected this drop off at some point. A bunch of freak injuries, stuff like that. And I feel like people are really using that against Arsenal to put them in third place or lower, say, oh, that was their window, it's gone now. I don't think that's the case at all. We still have the best defense in the league statistically, so definitely still capable of winning a league with that defense. And on top of that, we have a striker that can take away attention from Bukayo Saka. Saka can maybe get some more space. We saw in the most recent preseason game against Athletic Bilbao, he was isolated one on one with their left back, and he was absolutely cooking him. I know it's not the same as Premier League teams who are going to sit in low blocks and not let Saka go one on one, but we saw a good amount of chance creation for Gyökeres. He got his goal. And I'm hoping to see a lot more of that, as well as Noni Madueke on the other side. For me, I got Arsenal as champions. Maybe you disagree, maybe you don't. But this is my predicted table. We got Burnley finishing last, Arsenal on top. You see the relegated teams, Leeds and Brentford with Burnley. Teams to get the Champions League, all traditional Big Six teams except United, who are going to finish in 8th. Yeah, see some big drop offs, some overachievers like Everton and Brighton. Let me know if y'all agree with these, because I feel like I hit the nail on the head, to be honest. Like, would you be surprised to see this table at the end of the season? I don't think a lot of y'all would be that surprised. Again, let me know what your predicted table is. Maybe put in the comments 1 through 20 of what you have. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share it. We're trying to spread this YouTube channel to the football community, show that I got the best ball knowledge on the internet, basically. And yeah, like, yeah, just let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoyed my table. If you didn't, let me know as well, because I want to see where I went wrong. More videos coming out soon. Yeah, like, subscribe, and peace.